I never really understood the big deal when it came to weddings. But since moving back home to Nigeria 6 years ago and getting married, I soon found out how big a deal it really is. But what happens once the party's over and it's just the two of you? I started to think about this. As much as I've heard about the romance of it all, I've also heard about the stress, the fallouts, fights, and everything in between. Divorced after 6 months, happy being a mistress, the 7-year itch, 8 years dating but no ring in sight. The topics were endless. So I wanted to see what regular people had to say on these topics. I've spoken to single people, married people, and counselors. Maybe if we're all open about our experiences, someone out there may be able to take something good out of this. And I might learn a thing or two myself. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of So You Want to Get Married. So You Want to Get Married is table talk where we talk about anything and everything to do with love, dating, sex, relationships, the whole shebang. We've got a great panel lined up for you today. First up, we are joined by designer Tope. Tope, how you doing?
Hi.
Fantastic. We've also got TV exec Vidal. Vidal, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm good. And we have got program director Moriam. Mori, what's up?
Hey, hon.
Good to see you guys. Now, today's topic is married friends versus single friends. Okay, you might be thinking, what am I talking about? But basically, there's this myth, okay? And the myth goes that married friends tend to disassociate themselves from their single friends once they get married. Okay, so let's find out what our panel think. Vidal, let's go with the only man in the house. Sorry. What do you think? Is this true?
You know, I haven't thought of it like that. And just as you mentioned it, I'm trying to rack my brain, trying to see how many married friends I have and single friends. I think at some point I didn't have a choice because I got married young.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was a whole lot of, most of my friends were single anyway. So if I sort of neglected them, I would have been stuck with no friends. But as time went on and as people started, getting hitched, I don't think there was a conscious effort.
Okay.
It just depends on the relationship you have with each person and how it goes. There's some single friends and I think the women may be able to relate to that more, but there's some single friends that just don't have any chill. So every day they want to just, they don't realize that, you can't really do that because, so naturally that relationship would distance. But for your own sanity, especially for a guy, so that you have your sanity at home.
Exactly.
It's in your best interest to just keep those people. But I still got love for you guys, though.
Okay, because I'm just thinking, which friend has no chill? Okay,
they
cool.
know
I
themselves.
think it's good to get that from a guy's perspective, but
Okay.
I think, from the female perspective, let's go with Tope. Tope, what do you think? Do you think this is true? Have your married friends do they stop hanging out with you or not in the same regard? What happens?
I think they've all stopped hanging out with me, but what I've noticed is whenever they're together, they talk about their children, schools, how they're changing schools, what their nanny just did, which nanny agency to go to, and those kind of things are kind of like boring. So
when you're talking about that, what are you doing?
I'm just on my phone on Snapchat or Instagram. Or I'm the one that usually would change the topic.
Yeah.
So, but then I'm kind of blessed, so I do kind of have cool friends in a way. So when I think the only thing I found out is when I do want to go out, it depends on where we're going, where I want to go to. I know which single friend to go to, cool. That if I want to turn up, which single friend to go out with. And if it's a more serious thing, maybe it'll be a married friend I'll go with. So I think that's the thing that I find with my single friends and my married friends. So if I want to go out on holiday, it'll be a single friend I'll go on holiday with because we're going through the same thing. If it's a married friend, what would I go? Lunch, dinner.
That's interesting. So your married friend, you go for lunch. Your single friend, you go on holiday with.
Go to dinner.
Okay.
We'll talk about. I was thinking about this last week. I think something happened, and I went through my phone. Should I call this person? Who should I call? And then it also goes with advice as well. So if there's something you're going through, would your married friend be able to help you better with this, or your single friend? Because priorities are different, and then my married friends have gone through certain things. Maybe my single friends haven't gone through.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it, really.
Okay. Well, anyway, you guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about married friends versus single friends. And if you get married, do you tend to, just kind of move away from your single friends? Vidal said that he has a friend that has no chill. I'm just playing, but he did say that. And Tope is actually talking about the different conversations that her married friends have when she's around them. So, Mori, I just want to ask you, so this is so funny. Do you feel like your married friends kind of act like they have one up on you? Not like in a rude way, but they feel like they may be better. Mm-hmm. And you can speak freely because I'm your married friend. So yeah, do you feel like they tend to have this air about them that's a bit like, well, I'm married now, so.
Actually, now that you say that, I can think of a couple of them.
Okay.
Not all of them, not the majority of them, but there are a couple that. But I think it's only natural in a weird way for them because it's this air all of a sudden, something maybe they've sought after for a while. They've achieved it. It's an accomplishment for them. So they feel like, I'm married. That conversation with my husband, and oh, my husband, and oh, yes, me and my husband. So, and unfortunately, I can't say that at this time. So I'm happy for them. Yeah. So I just take it like that. But I agree with actually Vidal in the sense that it depends on the one-on-one relationship that you had with the individual. Yeah. If your relationship with that person, like you and I still hang out all the time. We see each other at least once or twice in a week. And that was the same way it was when you were single. Yeah.
So, what happened to her? She's been left out. She's like, really?
Exactly. So I just think it depends on the relationship and what our priorities are, what we actually discuss and what we do together when we are together. If I was the turn-up friend, as Vidal has, the one friend that has no chill, then maybe we wouldn't see each other as often. But I think there was more depth to our relationship, so we could still continue to see each other as often as we did when you were single. Now that you're married.
Sorry, I just want to ask. So, in that instance, if they were both the friend before you married this girl, for example, she was hanging out with that girl. So, what changes in the sense where the guy wants to put his foot down and says, I don't want you hanging out with her anymore?
Should I speak for the guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it works both ways. When a friend gets married, I think it's very important for her friends to understand that and respect that. And understand the boundaries that are now being placed. You can't be turning up at the house at 7. You can't be doing certain things, and you just have to respect it. And I believe that any decent gentleman or decent guy wouldn't demand that you stop going out with your friends. All he needs to be able to know is that your friends are sensible and they respect the relationship. And I think he'll give him the assurance to be able to just be easy with it. And so whatever you do is down to you. He'll be able to trust and be absolutely fine with it. But it really boils down to a lot of people don't realize. I think it's down to the wife to say to her husband, no. I think a lot to the friends. Like once you can really, impress that respect and boundaries, and
that would be cool.
It is what it is. So it's like it's not just two of them that got married. You yourself have something has changed. So that's the way I look at it.
Tope, you're gonna say something?
That's what I wanted to say.
Oh really?
Really?
No. I find that it's really a married man who's married, right, doesn't like his wife's friend out when he's out. Because they tend to, if the guy's dodgy.
Okay, they can see what he's doing.
So that's why those guys have issues.
That's why they don't like you.
If you notice most relationships, why the girl isn't as close to her friend anymore, it's always to do with the husband.
I wouldn't know anything about that, really,
to be honest with you. Because you're a good guy. It tends to always be, it's always related. Yeah. But then for girls, when a married woman isn't comfortable with it's because the single guy is always turning up.
Yeah.
So if he was a sensible guy, because I don't think, there's some girls that are a bit, over the top. I'm the kind of person, if you work Monday to Friday, I understand that you need to go out. Go out with your guys. I'll be like, I'll push it because I need my girl time as well. So that's really important to me. But if the guy calls Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's some people that want to go out on Sunday. Like,
What, to church?
no, go out after church. And they, you know how guys are, especially if you go out with someone that watches football, watch football. And all the girl, it's the same thing you were saying, there should be a balance. So the girl, the single friend should understand that, okay, she's married now, spend time with her family, because she's building that relationship, but she also needs to build a relationship with me, so there has to be a balance. Yeah. The same thing, vice versa for guys as well. But guys, you know, because we're emotional.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Females are more emotional. So we're thinking ahead. So we're saying it as, we just got married. Yeah. He's going out all the time. This is my life forever. Yeah. This is what's going to happen forever. Yeah. His friend does that, so he's going to be like this with me as well. But guys are not like that. They can actually go out. A good guy, a God-fearing guy can go out with his guy friends and maybe not be his influence.
What you just described is not emotional to me. What you described is erratic.
Not emotional.
Really?
Being erratic is also an emotion.
Yeah, but that's one emotion. Yeah,
but I
it's
like
very.
That description.
No, this is not.
Do you disagree with what you're saying?
That it's erratic. Yeah, I do.
No, and then also, you know, guys are always naive. You know one thing about guys, guys are always, especially when they get married, they love attention. Even women love attention, but guys. Yeah. So when the girl's paying you attention, the married man, when the girl's paying the married man attention, I'm a woman. I know what this girl's thinking.
Jeez.
Right?
Not
seriously.
Thank you.
In Nigeria.
No, I have married male friends, and I'm not thinking that. I don't want to be their wife. I don't want to take their wife's place. They're my friends.
Don't you have, wait, sorry.
They're my friends.
In what you just said, don't you have married male friends?
Yeah, I do.
What's your agenda with them?
But I don't call them after 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock.
But
then there are people that do that.
Oh, yeah, but I'm not that person. And I'm saying I can be their friend and not be that person you're describing.
Okay, but you're in minority. You're a minority. Not in Nigeria. In Lagos.
What is it about Lagos? The air we breathe or the water we drink?
Okay, let's just change before we go far left. Do you guys think at all, talking to the two single ladies in the house, that your married friends may be envious of you somewhat at all? In the sense of the fact that you can kind of do what you want?
A little bit. Really? A little bit. Just in the sense of being able to get up and go. Get up and take a vacation. Get up and just change something without having to consider somebody else or discuss it with somebody else. They do point that out. They point that out that you should enjoy this period of time. Enjoy it. Why are you rushing? Where are you going to? You know, you don't have to consult with this person. You don't have to, you know, consider somebody else's feelings or their perspective on this situation. You can just do what you feel at this point in time because you are still single.
You don't think that's a case of like the grass is always greener?
Yes.
Oh, I'm married now. I want to be single. I'm single. I want to be married.
But then every time there's a season for every time.
I just want to find out. You mentioned before about advice. If you're married, you're having like, let's say you and your husband have an argument and you're thinking,
who do you go to? The single friend or the married friend?
To the married friend, or do you go to
it depends on what
I know what I would do.
I'm not married and I still go through that. So as I'm in a relationship or when I was in a relationship, who do I go to? So it depends. I feel like I already have the spirit of discernment. So most of the time, most of my friends will tell you I don't ask for advice. Okay. How I learn is, even though I'm really loud, I'm usually quiet in group settings. So I listen to what everyone is saying. So I pick up on what they're saying. And if you notice, a lot of people just talk and what they say, they don't actually do it. Exactly. So some people will say to you, I would do this. Someone was even saying this to me that, I remember when I broke up with someone, we went through a breakup and I was really quiet. And a lot of my friends weren't talking to me because of that. That why they're hearing outside, etc. And I said, I took that time out because I wanted to hear from God. I didn't want your opinion. I didn't want your opinion. I wanted to know, what was this? Why am I going through this? Was it really you, God? That's why I kept quiet. So if I feel like that person has gone through, that's number one, I would never go to someone that doesn't talk to me. So lots of Nigerian girls, you hear that a lot of Nigerian women will say, Mio, it's just Mio, I don't go to anyone, or maybe my mom or maybe my sister. If you're like that, you don't come to me with your things that make you vulnerable. I will not come to you with things that make me vulnerable. Because if you don't trust me, it's not, relationships it's a two-way street. Even though the guy's done something really crazy, we're going back to the Bible. What does God say about this? Yeah. What's his will? Not what you want, because what you want, what human beings, especially us women, like going back to us being really emotional, when something happens to us, we blow it up. And guys are fact. It's facts. We're emotional.
Okay, well, let's run out of time, so we need to go to our question of the day. But you've all had really valid points. I like the fact that you just said about, seek someone that also has wisdom. So it's not just about them having that same experience, but how did they handle that actual experience. So let's quickly go to the question of the day. The question of the day is not necessarily have anything to do with the topic, it's just to do with relationships. So let's see. Now, question of the day, it says, I've been with my boyfriend for a year, and when it's just the two of us, it's great. We've had arguments about long-term commitment. When we go out, I feel humiliated because he stares at women until they make eye contact. He doesn't flirt openly when I'm there, but he does talk about other women. I would dump him, but I love him.
So I would say, when you talk to him and you tell him it makes you uncomfortable, what does he say? You shouldn't have to say, some people, I'm uncomfortable with this. Yeah. I'm not happy. I don't like what you're doing. If he doesn't listen to you, it's bad. Yeah. When we go out the next time, I will look so sexy and I'll do the same thing. But because some people don't learn until you do it back to them. So I would go out and I would look, and when you say, are you looking? I go, no. Who? Him? No. Really? Oh no. Is he looking at me? Oh.
Personally, I don't do what I don't want to be done to me.
Word.
So that's it. So it might be a selfish thing for me, but that's how I work. So I won't do it to you, don't do it to me. So.
Or is there anything you want to add to that?
So you, if you know this is something that you cannot accept in your relationship, as you're dating, you will definitely not be able to accept it in marriage. So don't pursue it any further. I feel like with situations where men are still flirting, because that's flirting in my book, you just have to accept him as who he is. There are people that I know that are in relationships that they can actually joke about it. Like if their guy is looking at a girl, she'll be like, oh, she's kind of hot, ain't she? Da-da. So it just depends on your relationship dynamics. True. Can you joke with him about it? Can you guys move past it? And if it's something you can't move past, then don't look at changing him. You can't change a person. And it depends on age again too. If you're much older, if you're in your 30s, late 20s, that guy's not changing. He's gonna still look at women. Okay. If you're in your early 20s, it may be something that over time he can change, but it's not something he will change because of you. It has to be something he wants to change for himself.
Maybe he's just greedy. Okay, guys, we actually run out of time, but you've made very valid points. I really hope that was helpful. Like we said, give him the willingness to change, and if he doesn't, then the decision is ultimately up to you. Well, guys, it's been so great, so intuitive, so wow, like amazing. You guys, God, you rock. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I'll see you sometime soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Dolapo.
That's it for another episode of So You Want to Get Married, and make sure you send us messages to our panelists. Ask them anything on this subject. You can send a message to soyouwanttomarry@gmail.com or to the Twitter handle So You Want Married. See you next time. Bye bye.